Good morning, everyone. I'm Nazrana Zehra, and today I'm here to present a presentation on the topic poetic devices. We have discussed about it before this. Is anyone who can define poetic devices? Yes, sure.
Which element is the beauty of poem?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Poetic devices are the tools and techniques used by the poet to make the poem more attractive, and sometimes it's used to create emotions and rhythm in the poem. Talking about the types of poetic devices, the first two that I'm going to discuss with you are comparing tools. First one is simile, and second one is metaphor. Simile is comparing like by using words as and like. For example, we can say she's as beautiful as a flower, or we can say he's as brave as a lion. But you're talking about metaphor. Metaphor is the tool. In this, we don't use words like as and like for comparison. We compare directly. So we can say comparing directly. For example,
The example for metaphor is he's a lion.
exactly. Thank you. In the example that Madiha shared with us, we see that she said he's a lion. We know that one of the biggest qualities of a lion is being brave. She didn't use as and like, but she compared the boy, with the lion without using as and like. So we can say that metaphor is the comparison without using as and like. Type of poetic device is alliteration. Alliteration is the tool in which consonant sounds are being repeated. For example, she sells seashells on the seashore. Here we see that s and sh sound are being repeated in the phrase. The fourth type is personification. Personification, we see that a poet gives a human quality to a non-human. For example, the wind whispered through the trees. Wind doesn't have the quality of whispering. Whispering is for human beings. Am I right? But here, poet has used the quality that is for human. He has used and gave that quality to a non-human like wind. The fifth one is repetition. In this one, we see in this tool, poet uses, for example, a word is repeated throughout the poem or throughout the phrase. For example, alone, alone, all alone. Here, alone has been repeated 3 times in this phrase, and even all has been repeated 2 times. The sixth type is rhyme. In this one, in this tool, poet uses this tool, and this tool is the tool where poet uses the words that sound same. For example, high, sky. Both are having I sound at the end. And the seventh one is imagery. Imagery is the poetic device, is the tool in which poet uses some words by which the reader gets some ideas. Like, for example, the reader may imagines himself in that environment. And imagery is having 7 types. The first one is olfactory. in this type of imagery, we see that poet uses this one, and by this poetic device, the reader gets, for example, the poet has discussed about the smell of something, and the poet gets image, and he even himself feels that I am getting that smell. The next type of imagery is gustatory. In gustatory imagery, we see that poet have used some words, because of which reader feels like the taste of what has been discussed in the poem. Next is visual. In this part, we see that the poet have used some words, because of which we can imagine the environment, we can see that in front of our eyes, and even sometimes the person feels that I'm there in that environment. Tactile is that imagery in which poet have used the words, because of which the reader feels like I'm touching that thing. For example, he may have said that something is very soft, and you can imagine that how much soft that thing is. Next one is organic. Organic imagery is that imagery in which poet have used like those words, because of which you can feel that is the tone of the poem sad or happy. And the last imagery tool is kinesthetic. Poet have used, for example, those words, because of which you can feel the movement, and you even imagine that I'm moving in that environment. Thank you for listening.